Hi, my name is Kay Sutha. I am a business strategist and I will be your host. In this podcast, I'll be getting raw, real, and relentless whilst interviewing successful entrepreneurs from all over the world who specialize in different aspects of business. We'll cover the 5 main pillars of business, which are sales, marketing, finance, operations, and leadership, but not forgetting mindset, live and digital events, plus much, much more. You'll gain insights, tips and tricks, and discover jaw-dropping actionable steps that you'll be able to put in place for your business right away. Guys, our next speaker today is a former award-winning journalist turned online marketing strategist. Her diverse business past includes hawking Bulgarian red wine in Nigerian streets market, producing big budget reality TV shows, and opening a hip hop themed sandwich shop called Rap City. Get it? She also represents UK published Rethink Press as their commissioning editor for North America and Africa, helping entrepreneurs plan, write, and publish their books. As founder of Women Building Authority, her mission is to help female entrepreneurs develop, market, and monetize their online brand so they can move from best kept secret to visible authority. She's here today to share with us how to position yourself as an authority in your space, even if you have no current audience and hate marketing. Please welcome Nkiru Asika, founder of Women Building Authority. Oh my God, Nkiru, it's amazing to have you here today. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks so much. I love the introduction. I'm listening to it like, who is that fabulous person?
It's you. It's all you. It's everything that you've done. You are awesome, Nkiru.
Thanks so much for having me, Kia. I'm so glad to be here.
Oh, awesome. I'm so glad for you to be here as well. And we did a pre-screening call, and I do this with everyone. And I got to know a little bit about you, what you do, your business, and how you're able to help, female entrepreneurs. And I was like, oh my goodness, I need to have you on my show, right? It would be a crime if I didn't. And so thank you for coming onto the show today. Now, I know people are probably thinking, okay, what does Nkiru do? What was she doing before? And how did this kind of transformation of building your business happen? So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, first of all, hey people, really glad to be here, coming to you from Toronto, Canada, by way of Nigeria, by way of the UK, by way of the US. So I'm kind of a global person. So I entered the online space when I came to Canada about 4 years ago, and I started really with copywriting. I was working with a lot of online entrepreneurs on their sales and marketing copy. But before that, as you heard in the intro, I'd done a whole bunch of different things. But my background has always been tied together by, it's always been around content, around media, around writing. And then I also had a social enterprise, which was working with creative and digital entrepreneurs to help them build capacity in their business and in their professional lives. So I've always been drawn towards helping entrepreneurs. So it's all kind of, everything has come together to what I do now, essentially, which is working with female entrepreneurs, specifically coaches, consultants, service providers, people who are selling advice, knowledge, and expertise, and who need to know how to market and brand themselves online because it's tough and it's competitive and it's not easy. Even if you've been in business for a long time, but branding, marketing yourself online is a whole different kettle of fish.
Right. And what I'm hearing there from you, just to kind of backtrack a little bit, is almost like these different jobs that you had previously allowed you to develop the skills to now then build the business that you're doing today.
Yeah, well, I mean, actually, they were all businesses, apart from the journalism, where I was a journalist working in New York. Everything else really was business. I've been self-employed for the last, since 2003.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so I'm basically unemployable. Is how I put it, because I've been doing
That's exactly what
my
you
own
want to
thing.
be, right? You
Yeah.
want to be unemployable for sure. I love that. So now, Nkiru, I heard you have the ability to help entrepreneurs communicate the transformational value of their work. Now, you've got to tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's basically the heart of everything, right? When I was working with people, especially on their copy, what I would find is that, it doesn't matter if you have the most fabulous, coaching program or you're a super skilled consultant, whatever it is, if you can't communicate the value of what you bring, if you can't communicate why someone should do business with you over your competitor, it's going to be very, very difficult to market. So essentially with my private coaching, what I do is I take people through my signature framework, which is called V.A.M.P. And the voice, audience, message process. Essentially, we work on identifying owning your voice, bringing out your voice in your communication. We work on making sure you're targeting the right audience and really engaging your audience. We work on your messaging, because a lot of the time what people think are marketing problems are really messaging problems. So we work on nailing your messaging, your value proposition, USP, and we work on your framework, your process, your, that secret sauce that makes you stand out. And we put all that together and amplify it with, online marketing and
Okay, so
ignition.
I do have a question for you in regards to,
Yeah.
building your authority. And I know there's a lot of people out there, especially in recent times where, they've either been made redundant, they've lost their job, and they're looking to start their own business, but they're thinking, there's so many other different businesses that do something similar to that I want to start doing.
Mm.
Is there a point in me starting this business if so many people already do it?
Yeah, that's such a great question, Kate. And what I always say to people is, look, it doesn't matter if there are a million people doing what it is that you want to do. The truth is, there are people out there who will only receive it from you. There are X billion people in the world. That's why it's so important to bring who you are into the work you do, especially if you're a coach or you're a consultant, something where you are, you are really in the business. You cannot separate you from the brand of the business. And people will resonate with, with you, with your story, with your personality, with your background, with your vision. So Kay could be doing the exact same thing as me, but because we're different people, we're doing it in different ways. And some, one person will resonate with Kay, one person will resonate with me. So it doesn't matter, that you're not, go out and do the thing that's on your heart to do. Don't worry about whether there's other people doing it. There's a space for you.
Right. So that's why messaging is so important. And that's why building your authority is so important, because you'll resonate with other people that your competitors don't resonate with.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
essentially, you'll be getting those sales that your competitors can't.
That's it.
Awesome. So what really qualifies you as an expert? I know you've been doing this for us for a long
Mm-hmm.
time, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did you get qualified in this? Do you have certificates? Like, what makes you an expert in this? Because I know a lot of people feel that they have to get qualified before they can even start a business.
Yeah, no, there's no, I mean, really, I think, well, of course, there's some businesses where you probably should be qualified for the safety of everybody around you. But no, I mean, what qualifies me, first of all, like I said, is based, I know I have a youthful vibe, but 25 years in content, in marketing, in media, in events, in training and mentoring, in mentoring entrepreneurs. And then also, I've spent the last few years since I got into the online space really just educating myself, really, learning, being in coaching programs, taking training courses, making sure that I am on top of what's going on so that I can bring that to the people I work with. First of all, I'm a natural student, I'm a continuous student, but I make sure that I'm staying on top of things so that my clients and my community don't have to, right? I make sure I am that resource. And what also qualifies me is that this is my mission. This is my heart. This is what I'm passionate about. I mean, it's not just marketing and branding the way I see it. To me, it's about helping women step out. It's about helping women show up the way they should show up, because that's a way to close the criminal gender gap in everything from wages to leadership to share of voice to capital. The more women are out there, the more women are able to step into their authority, the better the world will be. So it's beyond just, how to market yourself online. That's the way you're doing it, but the mission is we're trying to change the world.
Right. Oh, I love it. Awesome. Now, because you have mentioned that, you've been doing business for many, many years, and you've actually you've developed, things have changed, you've evolved. Now, because so much changes in business, right? From social media, from, doing ads and all this kind of stuff. How do you manage to keep up with so much evolving around us?
Honestly, I think it's just natural curiosity. Well, first of all, you have to, right? If you're in business, whatever field you're in, you have to stay on top of it. But I'm blessed, I guess, in that I'm someone who's I'm naturally curious. I'm naturally interested in what's around me. I naturally want to know what's happening. That was why I was drawn to journalism to start with, because when you're a journalist, you kind of very quickly become an expert in different things that you never knew about because you have to write about them, right? So I just sort of bring that to everything I do. But at the same time, I can't do everything. It's just you can't know everything. There's only so much you can pay. There's only so much bandwidth you have, but you just try and scan everything and stay on top of everything. And then the things you need to drill down on, you drill down on those.
Okay. Do you know what's really interesting is that you were a journalist, and someone actually mentioned to me, they said, if you don't know what your story is, if you don't know how to create a story or your messaging, they go to me, find a journalist. Because a journalist can find a story in absolutely anything, right? And so that's really encouraging. And a little bit of insight that, that's actually true. And how easy is that? Just find a journalist, give them a little bit of a background, and you have the skills already to pull out the right messaging for the right audience, right? So it'll attract the right people to your business. And so,
absolutely.
So I love that. And it doesn't matter how big or how small, a journalist can always find a story, right?
That's so true. Yeah, I love that. I love that you brought that out. That's excellent. Yeah, very true.
So, Nkiru, are you able to teach a principle to our audience today that they can relate to and immediately apply in their business?
Sure. I mean, I think that's something that, a lot of people haven't done. They just need to take a little bit of time to do it. And it is powerful, is really thinking about how you work with your clients. Because, even if you think what you do is the same as other people, that there is a particular way, that there is a particular path you take your clients through. It's so powerful to first of all, identify your sort of signature system, your unique way of working with people, and then brand it, give it a name, so it's not just, it's not just podcasting. She's not just doing a podcast. She's using her, I don't know, podcast, whatever methodology to, deliver this platform. That's what helps separate you. And it also makes it easier for you to market even, and for your clients, it's giving them like a path to results, because they're like, okay, so you have this framework, you have this methodology. It brands you immediately as an expert. It elevates your authority immediately when you're able to say, this is my framework, or this is my process. And it's just, taking time to think about how you actually work with people. I mean, I do this when I, coach people. I take them through the particular steps, but it's something you can just start on your own. Just start with like a brain dump. What do I actually do with people? What are the milestones? And then think about how to package it, give it a name, start using it in your, content. It's one way to brand yourself easily.
So once you brand yourself and, you kind of set out what your process is, what is the first thing that people need to do to build their authority? Like, because there's so many ways of doing it, right? And people are like, oh, you need to have a book, right? You need to be speaking
Definitely on powerful way.
Right? Like, what is the first thing? Because maybe writing a book isn't the easiest thing to do, right? Especially if you're just starting out. And then if you want to speak on different stages, but yet you just started up and nobody knows you, How do you get on
Right.
those stages? So what is
Yeah.
the best thing when people are starting up, to actually start getting the voice out there, getting the message out there, and and building authority?
Well, the first thing I always advise people, I don't know if you remember there was the movie Glengarry Glen Ross in the 80s, and there was the line, always be closing. But what I advise people in terms of authority building is always be teaching. Just, give value, show what you know. And sometimes people think they have to be like Yoda, they have to be like the guru of all gurus. You don't. You just have to know more than the people you're teaching. That's what qualifies you as an expert. You don't need to know everything. And you can also share what you're learning. That also makes you an authority in the eyes of your audience. You don't have to have all the answers, but come at your content, come at your marketing from the side of, sort of teaching, giving value, answer questions that your market has, help make complicated topics easy to understand. These are things that help people see that you are a trusted resource that they can go to. And that is essentially what being an authority is. So I think that's the sort of number one thing that anyone can do. It doesn't matter how new you are. There's something you know more than the people, behind you. So teach them.
Okay, and I like something that you said there, like as you're learning, take your clients on that journey with you, right? Show
Yeah,
them what you're learning. And I think a
absolutely.
lot of people feel like they can't do that because then they're not seen as an expert. But you're saying that does show you as an expert.
It does. It does, because you can be that there's the guru person, and that's one thing, but there's also the guide. It's very powerful. And if you're learning and you're showing people, that's what you are. People are following you, and they're grateful for it. Another way of being an expert is just being a reporter, where you're not even claiming that you particularly know something, but you are bringing people, you know you are showing people resources, you are showing people what other people are saying, you are reporting what's happening.
Right.
And that's a powerful way to be an authority. You're being a reporter right now, Kay. Sometimes people think they have to be known as the guru of something, but think about it. I mean, being a reporter works out pretty well, for Oprah.
Right. Yeah.
Think about it. So,
Okay. So you say that you've got to show people value. How do you expect people to do that?
well, essentially, think about, well, not just think, ask your audience, find out what your audience wants to know about.
Ah,
That's the key thing with content, because sometimes, people, we start creating content that's like in our heads, like, oh, this would be good to do. Oh, I'm sure people want to know about this. Maybe they don't. Maybe they really don't care. So find out what people actually want to know about. And that's very easy to do. I mean, just go to any, if you don't have a single client, go to, Facebook group where your clients congregate, look at what people are asking and talking about. Go to a site like Quora or Reddit, where people are asking questions all the time, and see what's out there. Go to Amazon and check the best-selling books in your niche and see what kind of things people are saying in the comments. You'll pull out questions. You'll
okay.
see what people want to know about.
See, and I like that because you just simplified something for a lot of people, because I feel like people are in their own heads. Like, oh, we've got to
Yeah,
do this and we've got to do that. But you don't really know
yeah,
if your market really wants that. You might want to, but you're not selling to yourself, right? You're selling to a lot of people. You got to find out what they want. And you're making it simple by saying, just ask the question.
oh, yeah.
Wow.
You know?
Wow. I like that. I like that. You made it very simple for a lot of people that are in their own heads, And
Mhm, mhm.
all the data, all the information is out there. We just got to look
It
in the right
is.
places and ask the right
Yeah,
questions, is what is
yeah,
where you're coming from.
absolutely, absolutely. And it's easier. Also, the other point I'll make is it's easier to establish your authority and easier to find people to ask questions if you're talking to a very specific audience. So I do always advise people to, narrow your niche. Narrow your niche. You can't talk to everybody. You can't market to everybody.
1 second.
Um,
So
sure.
if you don't market to everyone, that means I'm losing out on sales.
No, you're not. You're absolutely not. Because so far as you have a market where there is still a market within the market, you cannot lose out on sales. In fact, you're likely to do better because then you actually will stand out. If let's say you are I don't know, a personal stylist,
Okay.
right, or an IT consultant, it's a lot easier for you to be an IT consultant for small to medium nonprofits. It'll be a lot easier for you to establish authority as an IT consultant for small to medium nonprofits
Okay.
than to establish an authority as an IT consultant. So
Ah,
how many IT consultants are there? Do you know what I mean? Who's like, you're just a dime a dozen, right?
right. Okay.
But
So,
when you're able to talk to a specific audience of people where there's still a large enough market, it's a totally different thing. Then you have a chance of dominating at that space.
okay. So you're saying if you market to everybody, you're going to get lost in the crowd, right?
Absolutely,
And you're going to actually
absolutely,
cause more harm to your business.
absolutely.
And so,
And sorry, you were saying something.
niching down is critical to your business, so you know who your market is, and that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to lose sales. You could actually make more.
You definitely make more because you will be able to stand out. I
Right.
mean, that's just the truth of it. You'll be able to stand out, and it will make your marketing so much easier and cheaper if you're sort of running ads or something. You
Okay.
have to be targeted. You can't just, market to everybody. It's unless you have a lot of money, you can't do that. You have to be targeted.
Okay. All right. So tell us this: do you have maybe a couple recent success stories that
Mhm.
you've had with your clients recently? If you could share that, that would be great, because I know our audience would love to hear that.
Sure. I mean, when we were talking about communicating value before, people always come to mind. There was I had clients there called Aurora Wellness. They're run by a couple of women, a wellness company based in the UK. And this was private coaching, and we were going through my whole framework on building authority and communicating your value. And after working with me for a couple of sessions, they were able to raise their rates, like triple their rates
Ooh.
from £3,000 a month that they were charging for their consulting to £15,000 a month. And they sold it easily.
No, I was like, wait, hold on a second. If you raise your prices, if you're struggling to get people to pay you 3,000 and then you bump it up to 15, wouldn't it be even harder?
No, because they were clearly able to show how they were different. They were clearly able to show the value that they bring. They were clearly able to show the outcome the person would get, because communicating value is everything. Price is not, people are not, price is not what people think it is. People are not buying on price. People want value, especially if you're a business.
Yeah.
You're not just trying to find the cheapest person that can do this thing. You're looking for who's going to give you the outcome you want. You're looking for people who can align with your mission. You're looking for, those are the things you're looking for. You're not looking for, who wants the cheapest thing.
Right. Okay, I see. Oh, I
But
love that. So
that's the power of being able to communicate your value.
I see. Okay. And then also building your authority, that all helps in conjunction with all of that stuff as well. Okay.
Absolutely.
Do you have any more success stories? Because that was really interesting that you was able to from 3,000 to
Sure.
50,000 was so cool. Do you have any more that we
Yeah,
can
yeah,
hear?
sure. Yeah, sure. I'm thinking about another client who her case was interesting but also instructive. She was successful in her business, doing, like, she was working with women on, like, emotional eating. She was like a health coach, and most of the problem was emotional eating. She was doing well, but she
Right.
hated it. She actually didn't like, she didn't want, this wasn't the work she wanted to do. It was like the work she started off doing, but she wasn't
It wasn't
feeling it
her
anymore.
passion.
She wasn't aligned, but she wasn't sure what she wanted to do. And then because she wasn't feeling it, she wasn't showing up the way she should. So she wasn't much, so it was becoming sort of, so when we started working together, we spend a lot of time focusing on really on who you are, because that's the first piece that is so critical. So really like your core values, your mission, your vision, what you want to be known for, what your purpose, your why, you know. And then through that, we started bringing out what she was really good at, what she was really interested in, And then when we get to the whole sort of messaging part, framing the message, how is she going to kind of pivot,
Right.
into a new business? And she managed to do that successfully, from focusing on emotional coaching, emotional eating, to advising people on sales. I mean,
Oh,
completely different, you
yeah.
know. But she managed to do that successfully because we had like a framework for her to, first of all, uncover who she really wanted to be and build a business in alignment with herself, but then also communicate it in a way that was authentic and powerful, and position herself as an authority in this space, even though it was new,
Okay.
and she's already, doing well. Because she had that, she was now excited,
Yeah.
about her business. She had the confidence now. She was coming out a lot more. Her Instagram quadrupled, because she was coming with a different energy. It's a whole different energy if you're excited and you're confident in what it is you're doing. You're confident in your message. A lot of the time when people don't show up, it's because they're not confident in their message. They don't really know what I'm saying. They don't really know if
Yeah,
people,
yeah, yeah.
that's what holds people back. But when you've got that clarity and you've got that, like, okay, I know who I am. I know what I do. I know the value I bring. I know who I serve. I know how I do it. You can show up in a whole different way.
Wow. And I liked this little point that you made, right? That she was making great money in what she was doing, but she wasn't passionate about it, so she wasn't showing up the best that she could, right?
Yep.
And that really stuck out to me. The reason for that is because a lot of people think, well, if it's making you money, why wouldn't it make you happy, right? If it's making you money and you're able to buy the things that you want to buy and live the lifestyle that you can, then just stick to that. Forget about your passion. Why do you need to go into all of that? Right? We
Because
don't.
life is short.
But this is what people think. They think that let's just start a business that makes you money. Whether they're passionate about it or not, is going to make us money. But it will actually cause so much harm because you'll end up hating it, hating your
You
life,
end up
hating your
hating
business, not
it.
wanting to get up in the morning.
Exactly. I don't know. To me, life is short.
Right.
And you only get one.
Hmm.
So why not do what you enjoy?
Right.
Like, why wake up every day and not be happy to do what you do?
Yeah.
That's like prison.
Yep, it is. That's right. You're going to be a prisoner in your own mind because you hate everything that you're doing.
Yeah. And it will affect the rest of your life. There's no if that's what if you it will affect your relationships, it'll affect everything.
That's
So
right. It has a domino
yeah.
effect.
Yep. So it's
Okay.
not worth it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I really liked you picking that bit out that you've got to find your passion and build a business around that. So I know at this point, Nkiru, everyone's probably thinking, oh my goodness, how do I get in contact with Nkiru? And is there any additional free support we can get our hands on to see, if we can dabble in there a little bit more, find out more information, if they want to get hold of you, how do they do
Sure.
that? Where can they go, Nkiru?
Well, they can get a hold of me at they can go to my website, womenbuildingauthority.com.
Okay.
They can follow us on our new Instagram and Facebook at womenbuildingauthority.com. They can connect with me on LinkedIn. That's the easiest way to get me personally. Um, and I have a free report that they can download called 23 Quick and Easy Ways to Instantly Boost Your Brand Authority. And you'll
Wow.
find that quite useful. So yeah, Kay will have the links for that. So grab that and start. Don't just leave it lying on your desktop or your laptop. Actually read it and start doing some of the things inside it, and you'll see.
Right. Oh my God, that's amazing. Thank you, Nkiru. And like Nkiru already mentioned, the details, the links, everything will be in the show notes below. So make sure you scroll down to get hold of all that information about Nkiru, and make sure you go ahead and get that report and you start reading it and implementing it straight away. Nkiru, it was amazing having you on this show. Thank you once again for coming on here. So much value, so many golden nuggets. Totally loved it. So thanks once again.
Thanks so much, Kay. So good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for your time and listening to Uncensored Society Podcast. All resources mentioned throughout the episode will be added to the show notes, and you'll be able to find them at the bottom as you scroll down. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe and leave a review in iTunes. Thank you once again.